First and foremost, all praises are due to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us His truth. Salutations to the brothers around the four corners of the earth who are teaching this word in truth and sincerity. And shalom to the hopeful elect of Israel who listen and believe in this word. This is Brother Karat Zabad coming at you with another lesson. This one is entitled Lusting, Coveting After Another Man's Woman is Adultery. We're going to start off with Matthew chapter 5 and verse 27. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery. And this is Yahweh Shai speaking. When he said old time, he was talking about the law, statutes, and commandments given to us via Moses, okay, in the wilderness. So that was on the books, okay? That was one of the 10 commandments, all right? So let's read that again, Matthew 5:27. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery. It's one of the 10 commandments. Matthew 5, verse 28. But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. So he's saying even looking upon a woman, and you look upon a woman and you lust after her, that you've already committed adultery in your heart because your eyes are the windows to your soul. And it's understandable that's very, very hard to do today because during the time of Yahushua and even prior before that, the women had on, they had on a full dress. They had their head covered, but you could still lust after a woman even with that, even with a woman fully covered. But if you go back to the time of Moses and before, a woman wasn't even allowed to leave the house. She had to stay in the house. She wasn't allowed to come out. So she had to either be with her father before she got married to another man, or her brother had to escort her. But in general, she stayed in the house because she had womanly duties, taking care of her children or, possibly her nieces and nephews, cleaning, keeping the house in order, things of that nature. So she was not even allowed to come out. But of course, we live in the time of Esau's kingdom, where women are able to, due to feminism, do whatever they want. So they're able to dress scantily. Their body parts are showing. Some of them might as well just come out walking naked. So we live in a time where everything is very, visual. And as a man, when we look at something, we visualize a woman, you can look at a woman and you can think, oh, her hands are attractive. Oh, I like her legs. Or I like her butt. So Yahweh Shai is saying here, even looking upon a woman, okay, is lust. With a lustful eye is committing adultery. And so I know it's hard in these times, you see a woman, you're like, oh man, she's fine, man. What I would do with that? That's the wrong attitude to have. You've already basically committed adultery according to what Yahweh Shai is saying. And then also you don't know if that woman has a man or not. And some men do it with a woman who has a man. Like I said, women are, so-called free now, independent, so they wear anything they want. So a man really can't tell a woman, you can't come out in that. You can't come out in that tight skirt, in those tight pants. Other men are going to be looking at you. These women are not going to go for that nowadays because they're feminists. They're free. They're independent. So they're like, I wear whatever the hell I want, especially the Eve, okay, the tribe of Judah. Our women from the tribe of Judah are very much, I do whatever I want to do. I can wear whatever I want because many of them are trying to attract the attention of another man. They may be married. They may have a boyfriend, etc. Have another man. That doesn't matter. They're trying to attract attention, and they will attract attention 9 times out of 10. But we have these scriptures, this truth, okay, that's speaking to us. Yahweh Shai is saying, don't even look at another man's woman. So, I do that oftentimes. If I'm out somewhere, I'm not even looking towards a woman's way because whether she's with a man or not, I don't know, So she may not have the man with her, but she may, be married, etc., have a boyfriend. I don't even cast my eyes over there. I won't even look, all right, because that's committing adultery. And a lot of times, before we came into this truth, you looked at a woman, she may have had her man with her, or she may not have had her man with her. But you were already imagining in your mind, well, what I would do with that? Oh man, I would pound that. You know what I'm saying? You're already imagining in your mind what you would do with this woman sexually. So not knowing this gospel, this truth, this good news, you were already committing adultery in your heart by even imagining such things. So let's read this again, Matthew 5 and verse 28. But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. So like I said, nowadays, it's a lot harder to do. But once you're in this truth, you know these scriptures, then you have to apply these things. You can't be just hearing this word and not do it. So Yahushua is saying, don't even look at a woman, okay? And lust after her, because you're already committing adultery. Now, I know for some people that's hard to do, but you have to continually walk in the spirit. You can't be carnal minded. To be carnal minded is death. To be spiritually minded is life and peace. So you have to start thinking on Yahushua's level to the best of your ability. We're supposed to be walking in his image. So what would Yahushua do? He wouldn't even look at another woman like that because he knows that that's committing adultery. So we have to strive for perfection like Yahushua was perfect. Let's go to Matthew 5 and verse 29. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. Now, you're not literally going to, take out your eye, okay, pluck it out and cast it to the side. You're not going to do that. But this is something that you have to work on, okay? It's a weakness that you have. It's the old man trying to creep back in. It's the fleshly carnal body, okay, that you're supposed to be casting off that's affecting you. So what is signifying here with this scripture is don't even look at a woman, okay? Don't even cast your eyes towards a woman. Now I'm not saying that, how you might be in your car and somebody might cross the street. Of course, yeah, you have to look at the traffic light to keep going. So you have to look forward, but you're not looking at her in a lustful state. You're almost looking past her. So you have to be that way. Okay. So what it's saying is, gird up your loins, don't be carnal minded. Just, you can't, you have to stop doing that because now we're getting into the time of, we're getting towards the end here. We're in the season where things are heating up, where temptations are going to come at you 100-fold. Those of us in this truth, as you become more responsible, as you get more into these laws, statutes, and commandments, as you read more scripture, as you strive for righteousness, and as we come towards the end of this thing, we have a couple things that have to come into play as far as prophecy, the MOTB, World War III, and then Yahushua coming, cracking those clouds. So we have a few things that still have to line up, but we're in the season. So this is the time that temptation is going to be increased upon those, okay, that are striving to be right, the hopeful elect. We're striving for righteousness. So we're going to be attacked even more in the fleshly, carnal way. So what it's saying is, hey, tighten up. This is the 9th inning. Okay, you're not going to pluck your eye out and shoot it to the side, but it's saying tighten up. That's one thing you need to work on. Is not looking at a woman, coveting another man's woman or looking at a woman with a lustful eye, so to speak. So let's continue on. Let's get a precept. Let's go to Exodus 20 and we'll get an Old Testament scripture to back us up. Exodus chapter 20 and we have verse 7. Exodus 20 and verse 7. Did I get the right one? I think I did, okay. You know what? I think, let me see here. All right. I don't know if I got that one right. Let me see here. Here we go. Yeah. Now it says here in Exodus 20 and verse 14, thou shalt not commit adultery. But I wanted to go down to this one, coveting, because if you covet your neighbor's house or your neighbor's wife, that's being lustful, so to speak. So Exodus 20, and it backs up what Yahweh Shai said. Even looking at another woman with a lustful eye, that's committing adultery. So Exodus 20, in verse 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. You see? Because if you covet your neighbor's wife, then you're looking at her with a lustful eye. You're saying, man, she's sexy. I like her. So that right there, according to what Yahweh Shai was saying in Matthew 5, the 5th chapter, the 27th verse, just coveting her or looking at her with a lustful eye, that is committing adultery. All right? Let's start off again from the top. Exodus 20, verse 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. So you're not to cover anything that is thy neighbor's. That includes his wife. Because if you're coveting after her, then you're looking at her with a lustful eye. You're saying, oh, I want that. So that is committing adultery according to Matthew 5, verse 27, according to Yahweh Shai. All right? So let's get also, if somebody says to you, or if you say to somebody, hey, you a lucky man, what is that saying? You lucky, man, you lucky. That means you're coveting after that man's wife. You're lusting after that man's wife because you're saying you're a lucky man. You're saying, man, I wish I had that. So that's lusting and coveting. So that's also going against, what Yahweh Shai was saying in Matthew 5:27. That's committing adultery. Now I have one more precept. Let's go to Samuel, the 11th chapter. It's in the Old Testament. 2 Samuel chapter 11. And we got verse 1. Now this is talking about David. David committed a great sin. He slept with a man's wife. He went into her. Okay, but before doing that, he lusted after her. So let's read 2 Samuel 11 and verse 1. And it came to pass after the year was expired, at the time when kings go forth to battle, that David sent Joab and his servants with him and all Israel. And they destroyed the children of Ammon and besieged Rabbah. But David tarried still at Jerusalem. So it gave you a little background information. They went into battle. Okay, they won, basically. They destroyed the children of Ammon, etc. So David, he chilled. He was in Jerusalem. He said, I'm going to chill. Okay? 2 Samuel 11 in verse 2. And it came to pass in an evening tide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. So this is his house. I bet you that was spectacular. And from the roof, he saw a woman washing herself. And the woman was very beautiful to look upon. So right there, David already violated. According to what Yahweh Shai said, he already violated. He looked upon the woman washing herself, and he seen she was very beautiful to look upon. So he already did what Yahweh Shai said not to do in Matthew 5, verse 27. Even looking upon a woman with lust is adultery. So David already violated that commandment, okay? Or he violated basically what Yahweh Shai said you shouldn't do. Even looking upon a woman with lust is adultery, all right? And so, later on, David inquired about the woman. He asked, who is that? And one of his servants, okay, told him, hey, that's the wife of Uriah the Hittite. And of course, David, I'm just giving you the background of the rest of the story. David went into the woman. He had sexual intercourse with the woman. And the woman, she came back pregnant, all right? And then what he did was he sent Uriah the Hittite into battle purposely to get killed. So he ended up marrying the woman, etc. And she ended up being the father of Solomon, okay? His son Solomon. And Solomon that's Yahweh Shai in his previous life, all right? So, then, but then you see Yahweh Shai later in Matthew 5 and 27, state that even looking upon a woman with lust is adultery. Isn't that something how everything connects? The very scripture that Yahweh Shai said, as far as looking upon a woman with lust, he was born basically, out of that lust, okay? As Solomon in his previous life, if you have ears to hear, and you can perceive in the spirit, all right? Yahweh Shai was Solomon in his previous life. So that is that is very significant. That brings everything together. It just shows you how everything connects in this Bible. So that was the last precept that I did have. And I hope this lesson was edifying to you. And on that note, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak Radash, Shalom.